Hi, I am Pixel Pia, and you are welcome to this experimental podcast series. What you're about to hear is completely AI generated, from the research to the conversations between two AI voices. Using Notebook LM, I've let AI create these episodes based on articles found online. My goal here is to explore the creative potential of AI and see just how far it can go. Everything, including the visuals, is AI made. So after this intro, you'll be hearing the AI takeover. Let's dive into today's AI-driven conversation.
Welcome to your deep dive. Ever find yourself wishing your AI characters, looked a little more consistent?
It's a common challenge.
Today, we're really diving deep into Midjourney to explore just that.
Sounds fun.
We'll uncover how to make those AI characters look the same across different images, almost like crafting your own little comic strip or something.
It's an area that's seen some really incredible breakthroughs lately, really pushing the boundaries of AI art.
For sure. And we'll be your guides as we break down, everything from the source material that you provided, going from the very basics of using Midjourney's editor, all the way to grappling with this concept of character weight. And don't worry, we'll do it all without getting too technical. No jargon here.
I'll try my best.
You see, nailing character consistency, it's about more than just, being good at the technical stuff.
Right.
When you get that character looking the same across multiple pictures, it's like you're building a visual identity for them, one that, stays consistent no matter what crazy adventures you throw them into.
It's so true.
Think about it. We instantly recognize Superman by that suit and cape, right?
Exactly.
No matter what pose he's striking.
Yeah.
That familiarity, that consistency, that's what draws us in and makes us want to follow their story.
Absolutely. And Midjourney actually gives us some pretty powerful tools to do just that. One of the most powerful being the editor.
Okay.
Think of it like your own digital art studio where you can really refine and perfect every single detail of your character.
Okay. I'm intrigued. So walk me through this. How does the editor actually help us, when we're creating a character?
All right. So let's say you've generated this awesome image of your character, but maybe the hair isn't quite what you envisioned.
Happens all the time.
With the editor, it's like having this magic eraser,
Right.
right? And a paintbrush all in one.
Ooh, handy.
You can literally just paint over the hair in the image and tell Midjourney, make it look more like this. You can refine those details, get that perfect shade of hair, and then boom, you can save that version of your character.
So it's like we're giving Midjourney a little more guidance. Hey, this is the hair, stick with this.
Exactly. It's all about guidance. And once you're happy with that core look, the hair, the eyes, any of those defining features, you can use that image as your starting point, your base.
Gotcha.
From there, it's about using really, really specific prompts to kind of place your character into new scenes and scenarios.
So if I wanted my character to go from, say, a cozy bookshop to a bustling city street, I can.
Absolutely. You
Yep.
totally can.
Wow.
Imagine you've got this, let's say, this woman with striking white hair and these really piercing green eyes.
Oh, hold on. I can already picture her. She sounds awesome.
Right. You can take that initial image of her, remove let's say, the bookshop background using the editor, and then, and this is where it gets good, use a text prompt like woman with white hair and green eyes standing on a busy city street, maybe holding a cup of coffee. And Midjourney will then generate a new image, but this time she'll be seamlessly integrated into that urban setting, still rocking her signature white hair and green eyes.
That's incredible. But you know me, I've always got questions. How important are the prompts that we use in this process? I mean, can't we just tell it, put her in a city and call it a day?
It's funny you should ask that. It's tempting to think we can just use those super simple prompts.
Right.
But our source material really emphasizes just how important, how crucial the right words are.
Interesting.
Just like giving Midjourney a super detailed blueprint versus just a vague sketch,
Okay, yeah.
The more specific and descriptive your prompts are, the better Midjourney's going to understand what you're going for.
So instead of just saying city, we might say, bustling city street at sunset with skyscrapers and yellow cabs to really, set the scene, paint that picture.
Exactly. The more context you can give Midjourney, the better it can recreate that vision in your mind with your character just, seamlessly woven into it.
Okay, that makes so much sense.
Huh.
So we've covered like the magic of the editor for, really refining a single character.
Yeah.
But our source material kind of takes things up a notch, hinting at this new feature involving, wait for it, 2 character references.
Oh, yeah.
Now this, I think, is where things get really interesting. Tell me more.
So imagine this. You feed Midjourney 2 separate images, each one with its own distinct character.
Okay.
Then, get this, using text prompts, you can actually get them to, like, interact in the same scene.
Wait, hold on. Back up. 2, pre-designed characters together.
Yep.
That's wild. What is this sorcery?
It's, like, honestly one of the most exciting developments in AI image generation so far.
Wow.
Remember our white-haired, green-eyed heroine from earlier? Yeah.
Our source material actually paired her with a male character, imagine, a ruggedly handsome fellow, and then they used prompts to place them together in all sorts of different settings.
So they could be, like, strolling through a park or sharing a meal at a Parisian cafe.
Exactly.
Anything. Oh, the possibilities.
It opens up this whole new dimension
Yeah.
of visual storytelling,
For sure.
Our source material used a prompt with those 2 characters, something like sitting at a cafe in Paris, maybe talking and smiling. They were really experimenting to see how well those characters could be integrated into a scene together while still, looking like themselves.
Okay. I need to know, did it actually work? Did they actually end up looking like themselves, just, like, hanging out in Paris?
It's promising for sure.
Okay.
But like any new technology, it still has its little quirks.
Right.
The results are impressive, but sometimes the characters can, start to resemble each other a little too much.
No. You might find your white-haired heroine sporting a little bit of her male companion's facial hair, for example.
Oh, no. Not the dreaded AI beard transplant again. So how do we avoid those, awkward fashion crossovers? Is it back to the drawing board? Or should I say the editor?
You're on the right track. The editor is your best friend in these situations, no question. It gives you that fine-tuned control to, erase those stray hairs, adjust features that might have gotten a little blended, make sure everyone's looking like they should.
It's like having a digital makeover kit for your AI characters when they get a little unruly.
Exactly. But there's another tool that can help us out here too, and it's called are you ready for this? The character weight setting.
Okay, character weight. That sounds kind of intense, like we're prepping them for a wrestling match, not a photo shoot. What's the deal with this setting?
Think of it this way. It's basically like a way of controlling how much creative freedom you're giving Midjourney. It's all about that balance between, keeping things consistent and letting Midjourney do its thing, add a little artistic flair.
Okay.
A higher character weight, the default is usually set at 100. It basically tells Midjourney to really stick closely to that reference image that you uploaded.
So if I want my white-haired heroine to really keep her signature look,
Yeah.
I'd want that character weight cranked up.
Exactly. It's like telling Midjourney, hey, listen, this is her style. Don't mess with it.
I love it.
Now, lowering that character weight, it gives Midjourney a little more wiggle room. It might change up their outfit a bit, maybe add an accessory. It could even make really slight alterations to their features.
Oh, interesting.
But it will always try to, retain their core essence.
So it's like saying, I trust you to give them a fresh look, but don't go too crazy.
Oh.
I can see how finding that sweet spot could be tricky. Did our source material experiment with this character weight thing at all?
They did. They actually tried lowering the character weight to 50 when they were generating that image of the couple on the beach.
Okay.
And it led to some really interesting results, really subtle changes in clothing, but they still look like themselves. But remember those quirks we talked about? Well, even with the lower character weight, it seems our leading lady still ended up with some unwanted facial hair in one of the images.
No, not again. That AI beard,
Yeah.
that's really making a comeback. But hey, at least it sounds like the editor was there to save the day, right?
Absolutely. They were able to easily just erase those stray hairs and, fine-tune the image. It's really just highlights how, working with AI, it's an iterative process. Sometimes you got to make those small adjustments to really nail the vision you have in your head.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, when you're sculpting with clay, you kind of start with a rough shape. And you just keep refining it, keep molding it until you get that perfect form. It's one thing to just talk about all these, techniques.
Right.
But I think actually seeing them in action is so helpful. Our source material walks through some specific examples of how they actually used these methods. Right?
They do. And it's really fascinating to see how these concepts, actually translate into actual images.
So let's revisit our friend with the white hair and the green eyes.
Yeah.
The source material, they start with an image of her just like sitting in a really neutral setting.
Right.
And then using the editor, boom, they remove the background.
Oof.
Gone. And then they start playing around with prompts to like totally change her environment.
It's like a perfect example of how versatile the editor is. In one image, she's like strutting down this busy city street.
Love it.
And then in another one, she's like enjoying the peace and quiet of a beautiful, serene beach.
Oh.
But all the while, her like core appearance, that amazing white hair, those piercing green eyes, they stay exactly the same. It's like magic.
It really is. And then, to take things even further, they bring in the male character using that double character reference feature.
Yeah.
They put them together, first in that charming little Parisian cafe, and then later, they're soaking up the sun on a tropical beach.
Why not?
They're even experimenting with different poses, like different ways for those two characters to interact.
It's amazing.
So cool.
To see how this technology really lets you create these like, visual narratives.
Yeah.
We're not stuck with just these single images anymore, We can create entire scenes, entire stories with these AI-generated characters.
And what about like that character weight setting in those scenes? I'm trying to remember, especially that beach scene. Did changing that setting actually make a difference?
It really did. Our source material, it actually shows that, even a small tweak to that character weight can like really change how the final image turns out. Like in that beach scene where they lowered it to 50, they were able to get, some interesting variations in their clothing, accessories, that kind of thing. But it still kept those consistent, core features intact.
That's so cool. And it's really all about finding that balance, between control and just letting that AI do its thing. But it's also a good reminder that, well, AI isn't perfect, is it?
Definitely not.
Even with all these like super advanced tools, our source mentioned those little hiccups that can happen.
Oh, yeah. Like those facial hair mishaps?
Exactly, that AI beard. But okay, so if we really want to like master this whole character consistency thing in Midjourney, what's the biggest takeaway for our listeners?
Honestly, don't be afraid to just play around with it.
I love that.
Dive into that editor, mess with the prompts, tweak those settings, see what happens. The more you experiment, the more like you'll understand how to get the most out of these tools. They're really powerful.
It's all about embracing that creative journey. It's funny, as we've been talking about all these techniques and like actually seeing them in action, I don't know about you, but I kind of feel a sense of like awe,
Right.
We are really on the edge of something like truly transformative when it comes to storytelling.
I completely agree. The ability to just like create and control these characters in AI-generated art, it opens up so many doors. And not just for artists and designers, but for, anyone who wants to tell a visual story.
That's so true. So there you have it, your deep dive into the amazing world of consistent AI characters in Midjourney. We've covered a lot of ground here.
We really have.
From using that editor to like refine every little detail of your character all the way to creating these elaborate scenes with multiple characters interacting and everything. Now that you know all this, it's your turn.
Yeah, go forth and create.
Go forth and create, exactly. And as you do, here's a little something to, think about.
Ooh, I love this part.
What kind of amazing, captivating stories can you tell? What kind of characters with their own unique personalities and styles are you going to create? The possibilities with AI, they're literally endless. So get out there and, light that creative spark.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Until next time, keep diving into that world of AI and never stop exploring.